Stop thinking broke and you'll start winning. I'm going to break down for you exactly how this works on this episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.
This is the Unlock Success Podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey, what's up? Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to another episode of the Unlock Success Podcast, where my goal is to help you unlock success in every part of your life. That's right. We don't just talk about business and the dollar signs here on the podcast. We also talk about, life in general and what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and how we can unlock more success in our lives. And sometimes that doesn't mean learning a new strategy. Sometimes that means having a more peaceful and a better relationship at home, with your family. A lot of times it means having a better relationship with yourself, meaning, health and fitness and wellness and taking care of yourself, because those things ultimately can lead to a better and more successful business, right? Because you are a best version of yourself. So I want to thank you for joining me here on the podcast. If you are listening on one of your favorite podcast apps, I do hope that you will leave us a review here at the end of the show. And of course, if you happen to be tuning in on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and make sure you don't miss out on any of the future episodes. We release one every single Thursday. Now, today we're talking about why you should stop thinking broke so that you can start winning, right? And it's funny because I could go through a million examples of how and why people think broke, right? Just recently, and I'm certainly not going to mention any names, but I had a friend of mine, and I told him, I said, listen, you need to put a few dollars in this. I was talking about one specific crypto coin, right? I said, don't put a ton of money. I said, just put, $1,000 in it, right? And he said, man, listen, he's like, I can't afford to lose $1,000 right now. He's like, it's hunting season. I live in Mississippi, so this is a typical thing, hunting. He said, I'm going hunting, and my deer camp membership dues are due, and it's like $850 or some nonsense. I don't know. So he gave me all these reasons why he could not afford to lose the $1,000. And it exemplifies the difference in thinking broke and thinking like an entrepreneur. He put more value on the $800 membership to deer camp than the potential of making $10,000 from this $1,000 investment into one of these, a crypto project, right? I won't mention the names because I don't like to endorse or say, anything here on the podcast that would cause people to invest in anything, right? This was just me and a friend kind of, discussing it. And it's the stark difference between a person that's motivated to make money, motivated to build their business, motivated to build a better life for themselves, and somebody who can't get out of their own way. Because people that think broke, right? They think I'm too broke to invest, but they never stop and take an inventory of what they're just buying and wasting money on. If I said, hey, I could help you make $10,000 if you'll skip deer camp this year, the answer should be okay. Sign me up, right? But the reality is that's not how people see it. That's not how people always think, especially if they're thinking broke. They think, I can't afford to take that risk. But ultimately, if we start looking at where we spend our money, you'll start to see that you are already wasting money in a million different places that it really isn't necessary. It's money you could use to invest, money you could use to build your business, money you could use to start winning instead of continuing to stay where you're at. And listen, thinking broke is almost a placeholder, right? It's really thinking that you can't win or do better, right? Because we see this in relationships too. We see it in that we will stay in a relationship with somebody that we're not happy with because we feel like we can't do better. you ever felt that way? Where you've been with somebody and you felt like I can't do better than where I'm at. Everyone's going to treat me this way. Everyone's going to be just like this, right? So I'm going to stay where I'm at in this comfort zone, right? Because I don't think I can get any better than this. That's the same way that people feel about their money. I'm going to stay in a comfort zone. I'm going to do this thing that I've been doing because I know that it may not be the greatest thing. It may not make me the most money, but I can count on it. I'm comfortable with it. The minute you get out of your comfort zone, you'll stop thinking broke and you'll start winning. You have to get out of your comfort zone to be successful. It just is what it is. No entrepreneur lives inside of a comfort zone. It's always uncomfortable, right? It's always uncomfortable. Listen, I have been down this road in my life many times, especially in relationships. I was the world's worst at staying in relationship that I did not need to be in. Refused to get out of my own way. Always stayed thinking, I must be a weird person. I must be there must be something wrong with me, and this is probably the best I'm gonna get, right? Sounds crazy, but it's very true. And I'll never forget one day I woke up and I just decided, I said, you know what? I'm done, I'm done with always feeling like I can't have more, right? Like I can't have more in life than this, and that I can't do better in life than this, that I can't have every single thing that I want out of life. I'm done thinking broke. I'm done thinking about how I don't have enough money to have the things and do the things and be in the places and find the people that I want to be around. And I woke up at I was about 23, and I said, it's time for a change. And I started a business, started doing seminars, ended up in a seminar in Anaheim, California with 5,000 people there. Spoke to 5,000 people as a young kid, and way outside of my comfort zone, right? Like way outside. The kid from Mississippi, I graduated with I think 30 people in my class. So the biggest group of people I spoke to was reading a class paper in front of 30 people. And usually I would skip class on those days because I was terrified of being in front of people. And there I was speaking to thousands of people at one time. And because I got outside of my comfort zone, I got out of my own way, I stopped thinking broke. I started thinking I can do this, I can win, I belong, I'm okay, I'm good enough. All of those things that you probably tell yourself you're not. I gave this speech at this event, and there were two people in the crowd that had flown into Anaheim, California from Seattle, Washington. And I didn't meet them while they were there. But after all these speakers, tons of speakers at this event, CVS, pharmacy, CEO, all kinds of people, they went back home and they were talking about me. And they were talking about me in front of their daughter. So their daughter looked me up online. She found me on Twitter and said, hey, hope you had a great event, blah, blah, blah. My parents met you there. I look forward to learning more about you. This was before there was an Instagram or whatever. So I looked her up on Twitter. I looked at her message on Twitter, and she was a really pretty girl. So I messaged her back and said, absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't have had a better event. Happened to be coming to Seattle sometime soon. I had no business being in Seattle. Maybe we can connect. So I made a trip to Seattle out of thin air so that I could go and meet this girl. And we are currently about 4 days away from her giving birth to our first child. I've been with her now for 12 years, and she lives in Mississippi. We're married, and now her family lives in Mississippi. All of that because I got out of my own way. So when you get out of your own way, you stop thinking broke. You stop thinking that you can't have everything you want, everything that you desire, that you can't be successful, that you're not good enough, all of that crap. When you stop thinking that way and you get outside of your comfort zone, some of the most amazing things in life that you don't even know exist right now, you'll run right into them because you're not holding your own self back. So it's not just in business, it's in life, it's in everything that we do in life, right? Walk into it with confidence, walk into it knowing that you can succeed, and stop thinking that you're already a failure before you ever get there, and you can have massive success in anything and everything that you do. I hope this message, kind of hit home for you, helps you change the way you think if you happen to be thinking broke, thinking you're not good enough, thinking you can't succeed at a high level, right? Thinking you don't belong in certain places. Hopefully this message gives you just a little bit of confidence, right? And a little nudge in the right direction. That's what I aim to do each week here on the podcast. If you enjoyed this, please leave me a rating on your favorite app, or if you're on YouTube, leave me a comment. Make sure you click that like button so that we can share this podcast with other people. And make sure to join me next week for another episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.